drop me off in Rotherham.
Comes for more. 2 for Jensen, 2 for Rotherham. Shoots. Ravel. Vicious. But brilliant. The sweetest feeling for Rotherham United. Wood's got round the back. And Richard Wood has done it again. It's done. It's Georgie Kelly.
Do me a favour, drop me off in Rotherham.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Rotherham United podcast. Thank you all for being with us on a Cup special. Cup review, Cup preview. Exciting times. We will talk about Manchester City's kids getting an absolute battering in the second half at New York, and we'll also look ahead to Swindon Town coming to probably do something similar to us. Mick's back with us. How you doing, Mick?
I'm all good, mate. Thank you. You?
Very, very, very good. Danny's back. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing all right, lads. How are we all?
Excellent. And Tom's back. How's it going, Tom?
Yeah, good. I'm very well.
Good. Nobody's matching my FA Cup enthusiasm to start with, which is very, very disappointing. We'll see if anybody's close to it by the end of the episode. I don't think it will be. YouTube users with us, as is Basil Kelly. Presuming every Bon young lads did well last night. That's in reference to the FA Youth Cup win against Huddersfield. Paula Rose says evening until Thermals on Saturday. Scott Gundy said evening. Is anyone fed up of winning? Chris Page is with us, as is Philip Oxley, Steve Mick. Harry says all aboard the double Wembley bus. Harry, we could have a triple Wembley bus. We're still in the FA Cup as things stand.
Jesus.
Don't forget semi-finals at Wembley, so could be a triple. But yeah, first things first. Obviously, you will have just seen the intro with Lee McMahon with his night at the Cutlers. That's less than a month away on the 29th after the Wickham game. So if anybody's not doing anything post-Wickham, I highly recommend that because it's a good night at Cutlers. Pretty good beer. And Lee's music as well, plus some other people from Rotherham, which is supporting Rotherham and celebrating Rotherham, which we always like to do as well. Harry's saying it has to be slightly realistic. We'll talk after Saturday. 5-0 win on Saturday, then maybe we can talk about the FA Cup one. We are going to start with the Virtue Trophy, though, Mick. 5 wins in a row, 6 games unbeaten. Another game where we've come from 2 goals behind. Against inferior opposition, let's be right about it. It was against inferior opposition. But what was your take on the night? The night.
Yeah, first off, I thought we were dreadful, weren't we? Really, to say the least, was dreadful. But a few changes at half time, and that gaffered it. Really, I think. All right, it was all right. Good result. Good performance second half. Nice to score a few more goals and get some more. Another win chalk another win up. So and some minutes in legs again, which I know I keep banging on about, but so no, good, all good. Pleased with it. Pleased with the result. Nice to score 4 goals in 1 half and all.
Absolutely. We had a few questions on the finances of the Virtue Trophy, so I'm going to just cover that off now while I remember. So far, this cup run has earned us 40 grand. You get 20 grand for participating and 10 grand per win. So obviously that's 40 grand. If you get further and further, the prize money increases. But there has been a financial benefit so far to that. Well, again, it's not really a run if you're still in the first round. But Danny, we'll maybe delve into some specifics in a minute, I suppose. But how much can you take from a game against a team like an under-21 side? I remember how many years ago we beat them 5-0. And you look back at that team now and think, oh, my God, that was a great set of players. But they're just not. They're just not at this level. It's just a complete mismatch, especially that second half. It was just – I struggled to take anything – apart from Josh Ayres, we'll come on to Josh Ayres. I promise we'll come on to Josh Ayres. But other than that, Mick's right about minutes. I just struggle to take anything else from it from a footballing perspective.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but like Mick says, it's minutes in for players that need minutes. It's first team experience for some players who might not be given the go-aheads in league matches just because they're trying to look after a lead or a result or whatever. For example, I don't think we'd see Josh Ayres starting in the league, so it's a fantastic place for him to start and get his first senior goal for us, which is absolutely brilliant. It's probably more of a learning curve for Man City's lot as well, because like you said, we beat their lot 5-0 a few seasons ago, and now they've got England internationals coming out of that, because I think Rico Lewis was in that team a few years ago.
Oscar Bob, Liam Delap.
Yeah,
Nico
Liam
O'Reilly.
yeah.
Nico O'Reilly,
Loads and loads of internationals in that team. So you never know. In 4 years' time, the lads we've just tonked 4-2 might be starting for England, Wales, Scotland, wherever. And we'll be like, oh yeah, we scored 4 goals against your lot. Funny. Into their keeper as well, potentially he's a future England international as well. And Josh Ayre's got his first senior goal against him. So there you go. But no, I think we can take, certainly from a management perspective, that I said this after the Oldham game as well, that we've got the bottle to come from behind and graft out a result. Because it's now 3 games recently that we've done it, because we did it against Oldham, Northampton, and now Man City's lot. So it proves we have got that. And it's also keeping the ball rolling, keeping the confidence high. Look at the run that we're on, 6 unbeaten with 5 wins. I think Liverpool would be dreaming of something like that at the minute. So I think we can take away positives, certainly from the second half. First half is still a little bit of a concern. But again, that could be overconfidence. It could be looking at him as an under-21s team. But again, it's better to get those sort of, we'll beat these, this will be all right, out the way in the cup competitions rather than in the league, where arguably form is more important. But let's face it, as we're one of the most informed teams currently, aren't we? Hopefully Hampshire doesn't win Manager of the Month, because it's a curse whenever one of our managers wins it. But he certainly has to be up for it, surely.
Yeah, They do, knowing AFL will find out mid-November. That's kind of how it works. I suppose, Tom, you got to look at. I said after the Oldham game, you take from these games what you want to take from them. You ignore the first half because Oldham. You take the positives, and the team was spurred on by that performance in the second half. I suppose you've got to do the same kind of thing with, again, even though it's a youth team, you've got to take what you can from the game from a positive sense and move on to Saturday, because Saturday's going to be a much sterner test than Man City were.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be honest, I didn't do my research, so I don't know where they are, but I know that Swindon are quite high up in League Two, aren't they? So, yeah, exactly. So, and as we've seen season on season, the difference between League One and League Two isn't actually that high. Or different, I should say. There's not much of a difference between those two leagues. So Swindon being second in a league that isn't very different to ours means that they'll probably be relatively competitive compared to us. So we've seen time and time again how much how often we get done over by teams in the divisions below, especially in the past year or so. So it's definitely going to be a different game to the City game. A lot more of a physical battle, probably more graft and energy required. So I can see a bit more of a senior side going out, and by that I just mean the first teamers that you'd expect. But no, we're in a good place, aren't we? Like Danny said, we're properly in form, and by the sounds of it, we might have a full squad by mid-November. So barring 1 or 2 injuries, so it's super exciting times as a Rotherham fan.
Absolutely is. Harry says, "Good thing we never decided not to cut our hair until we won 5 games in a row. We've been waiting 3 years.
My hair wouldn't fit in the frame. It's been that long."
Yeah, first one we won 5 in a row since 2022. It was January to February 2022. We're on our longest unbeaten run, which is 6 games since the end of 22 season into the 22-23 season. It went across the summer into an 8-game run. So yeah, really, really good. But let's not go too far without mentioning Josh Ayres. Needs a special mention. He could be good for us in the long run. When we played Oldham and he had that goal disallowed for basically nothing, I was devastated for him, because when you have youngsters, they sometimes never come back, do they? Sometimes that's your only game for the club, and that's it. It's unfortunate. And I thought, oh God, that was his moment to get his goal. He was really good on Tuesday, particularly in the second half. It was, although he had that chance right at the post in the first half, that shouldn't be forgotten as well. But yeah, really, really good. Proper striker's performance in that second half, and a proper proper striker's goal.
There were no stopping that, were they? And I know it weren't a thunderbolt header or anything like that, but there were no stopping it. There were no stopping his run. He were all over defender. Defender just had nothing on him at all, and he put it wide at keeper. Keeper. Somebody said, one of you said earlier on, he might be a future England keeper. He's going to have to grow about a foot into before he does, because he's a bit small to be a keeper. To be fair, I might be doing him a disservice. He might only be 15. You know what I mean? But he's got some growing to do if he's going to be a top level goalkeeper. But he weren't stopping that anyway. It was a great header, a really, really good header. And to be fair, you know, when in that second half when Hugo were off, he did really well. He was kind of on his own a lot of the time up front, really, realistically, and he did a really good job. And I think within those, had it been closer, the score been closer in the last 10 minutes, he'd have probably had another couple. You know, we were just trying to keep old ball up rather than actually attack him at that point at 4-2 up. But there were a couple of opportunities late on that could have been created from work that he did as a centre forward. So it was a performance that was beyond his experience, really. But on the downside of it, I would argue, yeah, he did it post, but he couldn't really sort his feet out, could he? And there was one. Yeah. I think it was a little bit before that. It might have even been the same move on the opposite side of the goal, where again he couldn't really sort his feet out and get any power behind the shot. So there's still obviously a lot of work to do, but he's a potential prospect, isn't he?
Yeah, the goal reminded me a bit of Smithy. Not a towering header, but just positioned his body in a better way than the defender, and just put it in a kind of an area where keeper's obviously not going to get to. Some cases, Richard Wood kind of regression when he attacked that header. Terry Fenwick says first half ran the channel, second half he stopped central and harassed. Yeah, absolutely. He also needs to have a little bit of commentators as well, because that commentator didn't have a clue how to say his surname either. Ayers, Ears, Ayers, he just never a clue, that commentator, bless him. So that's
were it the same one we were talking about Huggle?
He didn't call him Huggle this time. He still did it wrong. He didn't say Huggle. I can't. What else? I can't exactly what he said, but he was definitely saying Hugle's name wrong. I wouldn't have thought that a name like Hugo could be said in so many different ways. But it looks a really simple name.
Also, surely there are only two ways you can get away with saying it: Huggle and Hugo.
Yeah, I said I have to go back and watch it. Hugo. I can't remember. It was wrong anyway. Whatever it was wrong. Steve says he thought that Martha and Gore Powell made a difference. All looked very confident. Tom says, I think we're on Hugel. That was what it was. It was Hugel, not Hugo or Hugel. Hugel.
Right.
Just wrong again. Just it's not hard. It's not hard at all. There we are. Anything else you want to pick from the game, Danny? Because again, it's one of those things. There's not a great deal to talk about. We're through.
Yeah, I think that's the important bit. We're through, and it's just nice to have that sort of feel-good factor around the club where, you know, look back to the start of the season, you know, it were all doom and gloom and negativity, you know, Sack-Hamshaw, they started and now we're 6 unbeaten, 5 wins, and it really does feel like we're building up a head of steam. But what I will mention is if you go back against our 3 results against Man City, it's currently 9-9. All right, one of those is a 7-0 battering in the FA Cup, and our wins have come against children, but it still counts. It's still 9-9. So next time we play them, it's all to play for. Winner takes all over 4 games.
Okay, fair enough. Harry says that Holmes and Yearwood played well. Mick, you mentioned Yearwood. Go on.
Well, go on. No, carry on.
I was going to say you mentioned on our chat. I didn't. I wasn't looking for him. Let's put it that way. But you mentioned Yearwood as kind of somebody who stood out for you. For
me, I would arguably give him man of the match. I thought he was excellent in that sitting midfield area. Strong tackling, as we expect from Drew Yearwood, to be honest. But I was really impressed with him. Really impressed with him. I feel a little bit for him because he's not getting a look in the first team squad because he's got Dan Gore in front of him, who's not going to lose that place anytime soon, is he? But should Gore get injured, God forbid, then I think Yearwood isn't a bad replacement at all. From what I've seen of him, and I thought he played really well last night.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Holmes had an impact. These games have been really important for Holmes. They're the only games he's getting at the minute. So if he's not going to go out on loan, these are really important games. I will give you your minute in a minute, Mick. I'll give it you. Just bear with me.
We all saw that comment come in, didn't we?
We all saw the comment. It's Kelly for Bob. Kelly, we're coming for you. Just wait. Just give me a minute. Just on the kind of technicalities and the information of how we'll go. Yes, we are through to the next round. We could finish top, but that would mean Bolton have to lose 2-0 away at Oldham, which is obviously pretty unlikely. That's on the 11th of November. The draw for the next round will probably be mid-November. And I think it's end of November, beginning of December when the next round will take place, if anybody cares about that one. Phil Fox said it shows our weakness in the second string, unfortunately, which leads us on to Calvo saying, shall we mention Raggett, Mick? I'm going to come back to you on this one. Scored a goal. Classic Sean Raggett. That goal was very, very Sean Raggett. I'll defend him on the first goal, but I'll let you go. You can talk to me about Sean Raggett's overall performance. The falling over in the second half for that chance was particularly bad.
Look, he scored and he owed us that from the first one. I mean, you can try and defend him all you want from that pass out. They scored the first goal from. There's no defending that. It's a shocking pass. But and I've said it before. If you expect Sean Raggett to play in a ball-playing defence, then you're going to get problems because that's not his game.
That's my defensive game.
Yeah, but it's and I mean it should be. It weren't a difficult pass, and it was in the words of Martin Brundle, it were a day late and a dollar short, weren't it? It just was. Yeah, he owed us the goal, and it's a typical Sean Raggett goal. That's not the kind of game that you want to play him in, is it? Against a team like that, are going to pass the ball about, or going to press high and press well, which is exactly what they did in that first half. Yeah. It's a Man City team. That's the way that they play, and that's just not his game. It's not his game at all. It was a terrible ball, and there were a couple of times he got caught out in the second half for players getting in behind him as well. But he had to play. He needs minutes in him, or he needed minutes in him. But apparently, he might be injured again now. So
yeah, classic.
I don't know. I feel like I'm digging him out constantly, and he's an absolute professional. He is, with huge experience and far better at football than I would ever even dreamed of being. But at this level. He's not cutting it, is he?
No. It was a bit of a perfect storm for Raggett. Really, it was a guy coming back to fitness against a team who wanted to press when we were trying to play out from back. It was wrong. I'm sure was right to do it, but at the same time, it's just one of those things. Kelly wasn't the pass to Kelly, who was also way off the pace, who is also injured as well. By the sounds of it. Yeah. Tom, anything else you want to add on the midweek nonsense? Sean Williams penalty, that was pretty special.
But the penalty itself?
Yeah.
I think it's one of those where they hit it and they don't know where it's going. That's what I made of it. I think he just belted it. Like Barlassi used to do. Barlassi used to just smack it down the middle and hope for the best. And I thought it's just a similar to that. Just smack it as hard as you can and let's see where it ends up. And luckily it went in off the bar. But I think if you want to talk performances, you talk about Martha as a 21-year-old playing against under 21s. He looked like he was a level above them, and that's something to say when you're playing against the best academy in England's best under 21s players. He looked as good, if not better than them. So I think that's a pretty good sign for us that we've picked up a very good player who may not be with us for many more years, if not next year.
He's really come into his own in this run, really. Maybe I think Martha's really come into his own.
He seems to work centrally. I still think his best position's out wide, but centrally his work rate's something else. Like, you don't expect it, and it's amazing.
I was expecting, and this is not everyone's going to know this reference, I was expecting a Jamal Campbell-Rice kind of player. Really good on the ball, really good to watch. No work rate. There's nothing else to his game except what he does on the ball. And that couldn't be further from the truth. His work rate is one of the best in the team. He's obviously still very, very good on the ball. He is an excellent footballer. Excellent player. Actually, because her Spence is injured too, not good. Yeah, I think we'll come on to this now, Danny. The list of injuries that sound not great. Sheriff's a doubt. Raggett's a doubt. Kelly's a doubt. Spencer's a doubt. But Matt, I'm sure, sounded quite positive about as much as you can be about injuries. They're all very, very minor. They're all in with a chance of playing on Saturday. If not, then we're playing on Tuesday. Although it doesn't sound great, I'm kind of, I'm it's not too much to worry about by the sounds of it.
Yeah, it's not like they've all done their hamstrings in again. Well, Raggett and Kelly may have. We don't know the extent yet, but it's certainly not a kick to the gut like the other ones were. These ones just sound like a little bit of fatigue injury potentially, or just managing little pulls and strains here and there. And like you say, if I'm sure optimistic for Saturday, and if not, it'll be Tuesday, then that's not the end of the world at all, because we've got them back for the league. Like, I'm not saying we don't want to win the FA Cup game, don't get me wrong, but at least it's more of a fitter squad for the game in hand, which could push us up the league, potentially to 9th, I think it is, rather than the FA Cup first round. But by the sounds of it, with those names you've listed there, we still have a fairly strong 11 for the FA Cup game if we decide to play that way. We've still got, Nombe wasn't even in the squads on Tuesday. So I would say that he's going to be in the squad, potentially starting on Saturday. So that's an immediate boost. I think it'll be potentially Dawson in goal as well. So and then a smattering of strong defence and midfield as well. So it's not the end of the world. Just see what happens with it. Hopefully they're back for Tuesday.
Yeah, I agree. Right, let's move on to the FA Cup. We're going to do a little bit of a quiz for you. When was the last time Rotherham United won an FA Cup game, and who was it against?
Oh, my heck.
Oof.
Not on anything special, just an FA Cup tie. The year in 2025.
Yeah.
Can you give us the year?
Was it 2021 against Stockport?
It was 2021 against Stockport.
Yeah,
4 years since we last won an FA Cup game. This is even harder. When was the last time we beat a league team in the FA Cup?
That's where Stockport were, no?
Yeah, that's Stockport as well, isn't it?
They were nationally. That was the year they won the National League. They were very, very good that day as well.
Oh, I thought they were League Two at that time.
I did as well.
No, they were definitely on the way back up on that one.
I've zero.
2013.
Oh, Jesus.
Bradford. We beat Bradford 2-0. I think. No, it might have been the season before. I can't remember. We lost in the third round after that one. But we've lost to some bad teams in the FA Cup. Let's put it that way. It's a really, really, really bad FA Cup record, Mick. You're one of the few of us in this entire fan base who's seen some okay FA Cup days.
Yeah, probably, but I can't remember him.
No, I should have got Steve on.
Yeah, you should have got Steve on. Steve would remember him. No. I'm sure somebody will mention some comments and I'll go, oh yeah, I remember that game.
Southampton.
Yeah, that were at Don Valley, weren't it?
No.
Then in that case, don't remember that either. We played Southampton at Don Valley with that League Cup.
That was a League Cup. Yeah.
Right. Well, forgive me then, because it were a cup. That's all I know.
Okay. Yeah, so anybody that's, older than me at my age will remember the Southampton at Millmore when we beat them 2-1. They had Matt Letizia, Marion Pahars, James Beattie, I think. Gordon Strachan was their manager. They just beat Liverpool the week before and then came down to Millmore and got a little bit of a beating. Yeah, Scott Kent, Richie Barker diving header. Can anybody tell me the other scorer from that day? I assume you can't, make.
No. Well, thanks
okay.
for asking.
I know. Terry says Man U and Arsenal FA Cups. He's mentioning. I think the last time. Well, that was obviously. Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Phil Oxley says Mark Robbins. No. I will give it another second on that one. But yeah, Tom, Danny, but we'll go back to the comments and the answers. I know, Danny, you've got one FA Cup memory that's you're quite fond of. The
Yeah, the Solihull game. Yeah, that was crazy. I was one of the few people actually in the stand that's just going, I'm just going to stick it to the end just to say that I have, because I can say I've watched Rotherham lose 3-0 to a National League team. And then we scored 4 goals in 15 minutes. And I think it is still the biggest comeback in an FA Cup tie to date.
Proper, in the FA Cup
Yeah. In the proper rounds, yeah. So it obviously Sheffield Wednesday and Peterborough doesn't count because it was in the playoffs. So ours still stands in the FA Cup, which is nice to have a positive record for once somewhere. But no, when Smith scored winning goal, oh my, absolute pandemonium in the way. And it's to say it was basically like being in your garden shed. Solihull's away end. You're crammed in. There were about 10 rows max, and it was terracing, and the stand moved. Legitimately, it moved. And if you go and find the highlights on YouTube, keep your eye out for the guy who splits his jeans going over the advertising boards, because it makes me laugh every single time. You just see him tumble over and you see his jeans rip, and it's like, that just sums it up. So that's my FA Cup memories. And I suppose there's Bromley and Stockport when we went 21 unbeaten total. That sort of slots in nicely as well. Now for me, nothing beats Solihull Moors at all. That was just something special. I remember that till the day I die. That's how special it was.
Yeah, that was good. We beat Maidenhead in the first round that year, and there's a chance there's something in his house that's still wet from that day. The wettest I've ever been at a football game. It was terrible. Michael Miller and Scott Kent. John Mullin with the second goal against Southampton. That was a hell of a team. IFC OK says still should have won that game at Everton in lockdown. Tom, do you remember that one? The Matt Ollis-Sunday goal and masterclass. Luca Digne, Matt Ollis-Sunday giving one of the hardest games Luca Digne's had in a while. Probably, it was brilliant.
Yeah, they had to bring on their big hitters, didn't they, to win in the last minute? I remember Cenk Tosun scored. He didn't score ever for Everton. He scored one against us. That was about it. That was an outrageously close game against Ancelotti's Everton as well.
Yeah,
it wasn't even that's the one that got up. That would have been great. I think if not lockdown, it might have been a bit different. But I think if fans were there, we might have come away with something actually come away with something that day. That was special because we've played them as twice, haven't we, in the FA Cup in the last
League Cup was the year before.
Yeah, and that one was more of a drubbing. Yeah. Whereas this one was really close. Yeah. No, I remember it very clearly.
Yeah. It was also, there was no replays that one, so we obviously went out in extra time. Helped by VAR. If it was a VAR helping Rotherham United.
I'm still annoyed about that. Why use VAR when one team has never used VAR before? There's no point.
It helped us, yeah. They scored.
But I still disagree with it, though. Even though it helped us, I still disagree with it because it makes it an unfair field.
Yeah, fair enough. A reminder there are no replays still in the FA Cup, so it's extra time and penalties should it go to should it be a draw, which again is the most pointless extra time in football at the minute, especially at this round of the FA Cup. But we are where we are in terms of this one. This is the time where we get I'm trying to build a bit of excitement here, Mick, because this is the start. This should be the start of a journey. I know we have read out the stats a minute ago, where it's just a terrible, terrible record, but we're due a cup run. We haven't had one for 20 years, for 24 years, I think that Southampton game were. We are due a cup run, and this run of fixtures that we've had recent 6 games, whatever it's been, it kind of feels like it's merging onto what should be something at least.
It could be, couldn't it? And it's a nice distraction away from the league a little bit because, you start winning 4, 5, 6 games on trot, and all of a sudden there's pressure from supporters, isn't there, as well?
Yeah.
So it gets us away from that. And if we are going to lose a game, I'd sooner it be Saturday, and then we can get back to winning ways on Tuesday. That kind of, well, look, we are not the finished article by any stretch of the imagination. And to get to win 5 games on the trot, given how badly we've played in some of these games and how much under the cosh we've been and how a bit sort of weak at times, then it's going to come to an end, obviously. It's obviously going to come to an end anyway, but I'd prefer it to come to an end outside of the league, if possible. You know, so I'm not massively concerned about Saturday. It's just we'll go, we'll enjoy it. If we win, we win. Happy days. If we don't, cup runs. Yeah, it's worth some money if you get a third round and then get one at Big Boys away. That's it. And the chances of that happening are pretty slim, knowing our luck, aren't they? I mean, given the stats, we're going to walk in our New York Stadium on Saturday with another defeat under his arm, aren't we? Given the stats, I'm not convinced that that's going to be the case. But distraction from league. That's all it is.
Is it maybe not too bothered about cup run because you've never had one?
I'm sure we must have had one at some point. I don't know.
Well, we've only ever reached the 5th round twice or 3 times. I think it's twice. And as Mike says, the last time we reached the 4th round was which was 24 years ago. The time before that, I think, was 91 or 92.
It's when we do one. You're right. We are due one. Do we want it? We are injury record.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to finish the season. We're going to finish 14th, aren't we?
If we have a decent cup run and get a couple of players injured and miss out on Somerset League because of that, I'm blaming you. You will go to the one that gets in neck.
I'll take it. We're going to finish 14th or something boring this season. Now, let's be realistic about it. We can all get excited. We will get excited about the playoffs, Tom, throughout the season. But realistically, this team's a mid-table team, which will probably finish somewhere around there. Just that extra little bit of something in the FA Cup, especially in the FA Cup, which we've been so bad on. But I just give the season that little extra bit of spice.
I get where you're coming from, but I don't know. You've gone very negative in the league all of a sudden.
I just love the FA Cup. I'm desperate for a cup run. I just love it. I've always wanted a cup run, and we've just never had it.
But as soon as you get anywhere near Premier League teams, the difference is extraordinary, and you're never gonna get a significant run. You're never gonna get to the quarters. You're never gonna get anywhere near Wembley. So what's a run then? 2 games? We win tomorrow and then we win the next one?
I would say, given the current standing, probably 4th round would do for us.
Oh, well, I'd give for a 4th round tie against anybody. We haven't been to 4th round in 24 years. Just give me something.
If we get to 4th round, it'll be Sod's Law, we'll draw Mildon and Tiptree. That'll be what it is. And we'll lose to them. That'll be our 4th round draw.
Something we've also never had, again, in all these years, is a proper tie at home. Do you know, I'm not necessarily Man City, Man U, Liverpool at home. But like an Everton at home or even a middling Premier League team where we can put it up a little bit. We've never had
like
that.
Like West Ham at home sort of thing.
West Ham or something like, We've never, even the FA Cup, I'd take that. I'd just take something like in the 3rd round. You watch Grimsby, I know it's the League Cup, and I'm not saying we're going to beat Man U, but look at what Grimsby had in the League Cup. What I'd give for something like that, especially in the FA Cup. But I'm clearly on my own. Scott Kent, I'm missing out on playing a Man U after losing league play. I'm still not over that, Scott. Thanks for bringing it up. Right. You ruined me now.
If I'm being honest, man, I kind of share your mentality because look, let's not beat around the bush. We aren't a big club, aren't we? Compared to some of the teams in England these days, we are not a big club in the slightest. So it kind of bugs me that when we get the teams around about our level early doors, it's just like, whatever happens. But I think because we've not really reached a winnable 3rd round game in the FA Cup, whether we've started there or got there in the lower leagues, that's why it's starting to get, now, come on, we need to get one. Oh, it's happened again. So I sort of share your mentality with that one, Matt. But just to sprinkle a little bit more FA Cup magic into this, we've never played Swindon in the FA Cup.
There we go. It's a first.
We've played them in the 3rd division, 4th division. We last played them in League One under Steve Evans, I think.
That was a bad day and all.
We lost 4-0
on Saturday.
You are?
Does that have any bearing on Saturday?
No, it's history though.
Oh, okay.
Whether you want it or not, it is history.
Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. I'm being a proper miserable old fart, but by way of a change, aren't I?
But the funny thing is, I've seen in the comments that our last 5th round run was 1968. Our first game against Swindon was 1968.
There we go. Now, if we reach the 5th round this year, then I am all on board for that kind of symmetry, Danny. Remember that for the second, third, and fourth round draws as and when it comes through. I've got some people on board. Mike says, agree, Matt, run to the fourth round or even squeeze a fifth round draw dependent would be a dream for this club whose fans have starved of FA Cup success. Phil Box says, must admit, nothing like a cup run to get the fans excited. Harry comes in and says, can't wait to lose Saturday and have this exact same conversation. I guarantee, Harry,
conversation every year.
We were having this exact same conversation this time last year. I guarantee it before we lost to Cheltenham Town, which was thrilling. IFC OK says 3-2 Hull City Eves hat-trick with Kyle Vassell scoring one of the best goals at New York Stadium.
Yeah.
Ridiculously great goal. But yeah, Tom Eves. Right, we will return to the FA Cup in a minute. But, Tom, we're going to talk about international news because Denzel Hall looks like he might be getting a call-up for Jamaica. Again, nobody saw this coming. Let's start with the first point is if he gets an international call-up, that will be fantastic for Denzel. He's been fantastic this season. And for him, that is personally, will be fantastic news.
Yeah. It's funny that you said nobody saw it coming. Unless you look into his lineage, then I guess nobody saw it coming, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, all right, not to dig out a former player, but their current right back is Dexter Lembakisa. And, if you compare them two players,
chalk and cheese.
Yeah, Hall is a lot better. And I just think that it makes complete sense. If he's got the option to play for Jamaica, then I'd say do it because he's still young enough to rack up a decent amount of appearances for a club that, I don't know what his ancestry is with them, but rack up a decent amount of games with them and then because he's never going to get into the Dutch squad, which I think is his what I thought he was national.
I think he's where he's born.
Yeah, because he came up through the Dutch academies and whatnot. And he's never going to play for the Dutch national side. So, I mean, playing for the Jamaican national side, you've got decent options with the CONCACAF and all that sort of competitions. And as people keep saying, we might get a Rotherham player at the World Cup, which is either him or Arjani, which is just unbelievable that we're signing those caliber of players that before this season you'd never heard of, but now they're going to be recognised on an international stage and good for them because they're getting that sort of recognition and the pedigree, but also we get a little bit of hopefully some money off it as well due to him being an international. Probably bumps his price tag up by $1 million. You'd hope so. Yeah, no, I mean it's probably good for all parties. But yeah, it just means now that if we do end up playing that Luton game, which I can't see happening if he is called up, then we're without another top player. So yeah, hopefully that Luton game don't go ahead now.
Yeah. So
does one of the winner of that group definitely go through to the World Cup?
Winners World Cup in the second it playoff.
We're almost guaranteed then because it's either going to be Curacao or Jamaica. It's going to be one of those two that make it, and assuming obviously they get picked in the squad for the World Cup. But nevertheless, we've got a player for the top two, and so at least one of them is going to make it. You would hopefully,
assuming they're still here.
Assuming they're still here.
Well, they will be by the summer. Yeah,
knowing us. Just to answer, I know again some people are interested in this. If when a player goes to the World Cup, the club he plays for get compensated. At the last World Cup, it was $10,000 per day that the player is at the World Cup. Now that is going to go up for the World Cup coming this year. They haven't confirmed their figures for that, but we could be looking at a few hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of money just for one player going to the World Cup. And if somehow both of them make it, you could talk a lot of money there.
Even with that, you're talking about $300K for the entire World Cup. That's a new player for us.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Cockens playing each other last group game as well, which they absolutely
left winger and right back, so literally playing against each other.
Yeah. Terry says we had Arneson, Wills, who scored against England. He he wasn't at Rotherham when Iceland were at major tournaments. He was in the qualifying, and he never played. Wasn't at the club while he played at a major tournament, Danny. So
he was at Malmo, weren't he?
He was at Malmo. Yeah, left to go to Malmo. Boo. But Tom mentioned a minute ago, Danny, that these guys, players we'd never heard of 3 or 4 months ago, one of them, or maybe 2 of them, will go down in history for Rotherham United, being the first person ever to play a major tournament, as well as being a Rotherham player.
Yeah.
So that's something you didn't see coming a few months ago, did you?
No, it's crazy. But again, it's another string to our bow. You know, we show that we are one of the places to be for young, up-and-coming players who want to establish themselves, not necessarily from a Premier League academy, but certainly in the Football League as a professional footballer. And it's interesting that if we had £1 for every right back we had as internationals, we'd have £3, which is strange, but it's weird it's happened 3 times, because we had Harding, Lemekisa and Sentinel Hall all going for Jamaica as well, potentially as well, which is baffling. But again, it's good. It shows that the future of, potential future of Rotherham United isn't necessarily in players who know a division who are on the older side of things. It's potentially in bringing through youth players and getting those players up to speed and potentially moving them on and being a bit more savvy with how we spend the money. But no, it's fantastic. You know, if Hall does go to the World Cup with Jamaica or Martha with Curacao, Rotherham are on the global stage, you know, which is fantastic. And we're on the global stage for all the right reasons for once, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Am I being silly? When was the last time Jamaica were actually at a World Cup?
Oh, now you're asking.
It feels like they're there every year because of how easy that group seems.
The only reason it's so easy this time is because there's no America, Canada, or Mexico. So they've all 3 automatically qualified. I think it was 2006.
Okay, makes sense.
Qualified.
1998.
98, yeah, 98.
Wow.
The only qualification was 1998, so it would be a second time.
So it seems like the sort of country that's kind of there every year, but you just don't really notice them.
I'm surprised at that. I thought they'd been more than that.
Yeah. Jamaica like the team that's there, but not quite. You know, they're always like 4th in qualifying, which must be irritating for them.
Yeah,
like Costa Rica.
Right, it says increased teams this year. The 48 team tournament this year, which helped. So it's 48 team World Cup plus 3 big ones aren't even qualifying because they're already there. So that's why Curacao is so close in the nicest way possible. That's why Curacao is so close. Scott, I think the next World Cup 64 team tournament. That's what the talk is as well. So
it's only a matter of time until 195 countries take part in the World Cup in some regard.
Get them all in. Get them all in. It's fine. Justman says fantastic scouting from the fantastic scouting team, Mick. And just from a Rotherham United perspective, obviously we mentioned the cash that could get from playing there, but Matt Hampshire talked about bringing young players into development to essentially sell them on. If Denzel Hall and Johnny Martha went in January, which I don't think they will, but if they did, you're talking $1 million plus already for both of them. They've already shown their worth at this level. Denzel Hall is probably getting an international call-up. We're already doubling the money we've paid for them already. So they're almost already paying for themselves. So the plan is already working almost.
Yeah. Oh, no. Like I said earlier on, I mean, we've talked about this over the years, haven't we? You know, about the model of bringing in young players, developing them and selling them on for bigger money. It started with Warney. We brought in young players. We didn't sell them on for bigger money. We let them go. We let them go cheaply. So that part of the model, if you like, is going to have to be dealt with, and I'm sure it will be now. Hopefully, lessons will have been learned. But it's absolutely the right thing to do. It's the only thing you can do realistically for a club of our size to keep moving forward. And I think Matt Amshaw is the right person to do that. We said it right at the very beginning of his tenure that's what we wanted from him, and the recruitment has not disappointed. So all the people calling out Rob Scott about how crap he is and what he does do and what he doesn't do, you know, with the signings that were made last season, he's proved his worth already, and we're one transfer window into this management team. So If you give the man the tools to do the job, he will do the job. Rob Scott, Matt Amshaw, and both of them have been given the freedom and the tools to do the job, and they're doing it reasonably well, I think.
Yeah,
well,
possibly arguably better than that, but
it's a credit to find them and also credit to tie them down for 3 years, both of them, because you don't often see clubs of our level getting 3-year contracts for players.
You don't, but the key is when we let them go. The key point here is when we let them go. It's not obviously signing them on for a 3-year deal is ideal. It's perfect because it gives us that opportunity, the time to develop them. But we can't let that 3 years run out, and that's what we were doing before, and that's what we did before, because we were always chasing that dream, weren't we? We were chasing championship, we were chasing staying in the championship. So we sort of neglected the contract.
We were constantly stuck in a phase of transition almost.
We need to keep these players to keep us in division or to get us into the next division, and it didn't work. So it might be that there's going to be some tough times ahead when we're perhaps knocking on the door at Championship, and we sell 2 of our best players in January. And people are going to moan and groan, but it's a longer term project, isn't it?
Yeah, nature of the beast these days.
Yeah, you'll not find many bigger Denzel Hall fans than me. But if he goes in January, I'll be reasonably happy because we will have sold him for a healthy profit within 6 months. Similarly, like Johnny Martha, Tom Casey apparently had interest from one of the club players. One of the players went to Summit. It's likely to be one of those. If you're going to guess, you just get points to Denzel Hall when you guess. But
he mentioned it in September though, so it might have been Lenny, might have been Hall. Anyone who had a good start to the season, I guess. Yeah,
it's got to be done. Again, we could spend an hour talking about this. It's got to be done right. It's got to be done with an idea to moving forward, to not just stay in. Well, Rob's mentioned the comment, stay in League One forever. It's got to be a plan of moving forward. You sell Denzel for this X amount, bring somebody else in who can push to the next level, and so on and so on and so on. That's the idea behind it. But we'll see. But great news for Denzel Hall. Really happy if it comes off. And we'll be even happier should he give us something to watch at the World Cup next year for the first time ever that's happened. Obviously get a guaranteed World Cup Miller, which is exciting, very, very exciting. When we do sell for profit, what the club does with the profit is surely key. Yes, Mike.
100%. Let's get first hurdle out of the way. We can't even breach first hurdle, let alone what we're going to spend money on.
Maybe
probably more to the point, who's going to spend the money?
Yes. Yeah. How much a Lamborghini is going for nowadays?
There we go.
Back onto the FA Cup. Tom, we mentioned Swindon Town. They are second in the league, but they're on a very poor run at the minute. I think they've 3 or 4 games without a win. And things have got beaten. What did we lose to Accrington in summer in pre-season? 4-0?
Something like that, yeah.
They got beat 4-0. They got beat 4-0 at Accrington recently as well.
It happens.
Something in common. But what's your view on in terms of, let's talk about us more specifically, Tom. What lineup are you going for? Is this Nombe's first start where we're going to push him for those 70 minutes, or are you still kiddie gloves at this stage?
He's got to be his first start, doesn't it? You play him for 60, get some minutes in his legs, and then you take him off after 60 minutes. I think that it's just keeping the winning mentality ticking over, keeping performances good because it's at home, isn't it? So you want to keep fans on side. I think it's about giving those players who are on the cusp the minutes still, whilst also incorporating the players who are, lacking in sort of sharpness. So the Denzel Halls and the Nombes and the Yearwoods, those sort of players who you can see in and around the first team, or players who are coming back from injury or illness or whatever it may be. Because we don't know how people have trained. There still might be a fatigue from the illness a couple of weeks ago. Rafferty's a doubt. There's 5 players that are doubts. So I think to a certain point you're pushed for a starting 11, so to say. But having said that, I'd have more of a mind on Tuesday with the Burton game. personally. But yeah, I think that means that all the players he's mentioned probably won't play who are injured with minor injuries. You know, Spence, Raggett, Kelly. Who else did he mention? Rafferty, Lenny.
Sheriff.
Sheriff. All of them probably won't play just so that they're ready for Tuesday instead. And I think that's completely fair. And then after that, you just make do with what you got. So Nombe, Hall, Yearwood, Gore, Powell, etc. You know, you make do with what you got, which isn't bad. It should get you through. And then you've got those 5 or 6 to come in on Tuesday with a fresher legs, so to say. I know they're coming back from injury, but they're still fresher legs.
Yeah. Rodriguez thinks Nombe will be starting on the bench because of the game on Tuesday, Danny.
Yeah.
I just think if you're not going to start Nombe now, it's all about that progression in terms of playing. You've got to play the minutes. And I'm not saying Nombe shouldn't play from an idiot's perspective, which is all we are in terms of football in the medical side of things. There's no way Nombe should be playing 90 minutes. But you've got to go past this 45. You've got to go 60, 70 minutes. And this is perfect because it's an FA Cup game. It's not, if we wouldn't have finished with Nombe on the pitch against Barnes, that's a bad thing. With it being FA Cup, you can take that risk and hopefully he gets you the game done by 70 minutes and then you can take him off and then it feeds into Tuesday, hopefully. You've got to get past that halfway stage, which we haven't done yet with Nombe, for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's it has the potential of having the opposite of the Barnsley game. We brought him on at half-time and he made the impact. Maybe we do the opposite against Swindon, where we bring him on. Well, we start him and then bring him off at half-time, or if it's still quite an even game, we keep him on for a little bit longer, like you say, until 70 minutes. But yeah, with the game on Tuesday against Burton, in some regard being more important because it's our game in hand, that I can kind of see why a few people are saying we should start Nombe on the bench. But in terms of bringing him back from his injury, I would argue that it's a starting berth and take him off at half time and bring somebody else on. I don't know who. It might be that we have Martha on the bench, we bring him on for pace or whatever it may be. If we start Nombe, we take him off early at half time or in the second half, that's fine. But if we are into the position where it's like, yeah, go on, let's go and beat Swindon, let's go and have him, we would bench Nombe and bring him on later on in the game and then potentially start him against Burton just to shake it up a little bit. But that's in the hands of Matt Hamshaw to decide what to do and the medical staff. But I can see both sides of that argument. But for me, start Nombe, blow Swindon away, not sit on it for the second half because we are notoriously bad at doing that so far this season. But certainly just give them a bit of shock and awe and then see out the result and hopefully second round of the FA Cup and then on to Burton. But yeah, we'll wait and see for 1:45 on Saturday. Yeah,
absolutely. Tom Kay, he's been back for 4 games. At some point, you've got to play a full game. It's true. I was surprised he didn't play Tuesday, but I thought Tuesday would have been another opportunity to get some more minutes into him. I know it's a risk and it's a pointless game, but I was surprised. It doesn't help, Mick, that the only other striker at the minute is Hugo. Now, we think Sheriff might be available. But reading between the lines, Everton have been ultra cautious with Sheriff at the minute. And it's really impacting. I think it's really affecting what Matt Hamshaw can do. Because if he did start last week, if he was really brave against Barnsley and Nombe and Hugo, he's stuffed because he can't change anything on the bench. This Sheriff situation, it's not under Sheriff, it's really hurting us in terms of that front 2 or 3, whatever it would be.
Makes you wonder what the injury is and what Everton have got planned.
Yeah.
In terms of his development, it does seem a bit bizarre. Unless the injury is more serious than we think, or more sort of a bit like Lenny's injury that may or may not need further treatment at some point, kind of injury. We just have to wait and see, won't we? We'll have to wait and see. Like you said, we've got Hugo, who's the ever present and ever fit, and he's not scoring goals, is he? Just not scoring goals. He should have scored. I think arguably should have scored on Tuesday night. The ball that came across. I appreciate it were a difficult height, but he kind of pulled his leg away from it. either a diving header or get your leg up there, whatever, but get something on that ball and it goes in back at net. Lacking a huge amount of confidence in front of goal, it would appear anyway. So without him, we are scoring goals from all over the pitch, but somebody like Sharif would be a big bonus for us, wouldn't he?
Yeah, really useful. So hopefully he can get back into. Only he's played 2 games in a row yet, has he? Sure, he's really struggled to get any kind of momentum going. Tom Case said about Hugo was curses look when he went off at half time in the last game, and then we got a penalty straight away. Absolutely. Martin Miller, extra time possibly on Saturday with penalties. They should get rid of extra time in games like this. Maybe keep it for playoffs or whatever, but there really is no need for it. Make 1,100 tickets sold at the moment for Saturday. Not great. Is this on the club? Maybe they could have done something a bit more creative with ticket sales, or is this just FA Cup first rounds rarely bring big crowds anyway, do they? I suppose. What's your take on that?
There's next to none left.
I know.
Which I don't know what bits they've opened. I assume they're just opening the North Stand and the family stand, and putting the Swindon fans at the other end of the family stand. I assume, like they do for the virtual trophy. So I don't know. I mean, how much is it? 15 quid for something like that.
And you bought them today?
Yeah, but I had to find out again today that I'm a concession that I've forgotten. I was really happy for about 30 seconds, and I realised I'm old again. So, I don't know. I don't know whether you make it a fiver, but you see, the thing is as well, there's a cost of opening all the other stands. They've got to pay for that. So I think the club would rather fill out the 2 stands and leave it at that. But I don't see anybody knocking on doors saying we ain't got enough tickets. There are tickets still available. So if that's the case, arguably it's the right decision.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because it is a cup game, and do you want the full stadium open and sparsely populated and quiet and dull, or do you want 2 sides of it full with some noise? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get it. You're not going to sell it out, are you?
No, you're not, I suppose. The club have said if more are sold, they will open more. So I think the cop behind the goal is not open yet, but will be opened if people buy tickets. So we'll, but it's kind of as and when. 14 quid, says Darren. Yeah, I don't know. It's not massive, Tom. It's not a ridiculous amount of money. I just, for these cup games, which are notoriously poorly attended, just do something a little bit different with them. I don't know. Kids are a quid though, so that's a good thing. I think kids are a quid, which is really good. Yeah,
and it's still a Saturday 3:00, so most people are off work, so to bring your kids along for a quid is, I guess, fine. But yeah, you're right. I mean, nobody really attends these sort of games, do they? Because it's first round FA Cup against a League Two side. It's not exactly. It doesn't live up to the thrilling atmosphere of a league game or anything like that. So, yeah, that again, why I think that you're in the minority, Matt, when you say that you're super up for FA Cup games. It's just sort of, yeah. It feels like Tuesday. It feels like that sort of nothing cup game where both teams are going to rest their players because they've got league games on Tuesday or Saturday. So that's why I don't get up for this, because it just feels like I'm going to see Duncan on the bench and Ayres starting up front, and it doesn't feel like a proper game. It feels like a practice game or a fitness game. You know what I mean? So, which it isn't, and they shouldn't treat it as it is, but it feels like that sort of how Tuesday felt.
Yeah. I'm in the minority, but when we make it to the fifth round, I was sitting here smug, telling you all how right I was.
Hey mate, listen. By if we get to fifth round, I will be full on Sheffield Wednesday fan. I'll be there. I'm only interested when we're winning. You know what I mean? I'll be getting giddy as out if we start winning.
Yeah, that's fair. Having said all that, he says that. Having said that, as a podcast, we are taking it very seriously, so we will continue with the instant reaction on Saturday. So
you might.
Well, I'm not doing it on my own. So, yeah, we are taking it as seriously as possible, treating it like a real game. So if you want some more instant reaction after that, it's a series of 6 episodes in 6 days you've got coming over the next few days. Today, we've obviously got this episode. Tomorrow, we've got the Scout Report with the Loathed Strangers, which is a Swindon Town podcast. Obviously, on Saturday, as I mentioned, I don't know. I didn't ask about the name. I should have asked about the name, to be honest. But I do quite like that. Instant reaction on Saturday. Full review of the FA Cup game on Sunday, which is obviously a preview of Burton. Monday, we've got the Scout Report again, which is from Edward from the Brewers Babble podcast, which is out on Monday. And then Tuesday, again, we've got a game, so you'll have an instant reaction. So 6 episodes in 6 days. Unrivaled Rotherham United content.
People are going to be sick to death of watching us come Wednesday next week. Jesus.
I know.
And to be fair, there might actually be, if you meld them all together, there might actually be some content somewhere in the
Yeah,
no,
I'll enjoy 20 minutes of one of them.
You might get a good reel out of it.
Yeah, well, the guests we've had on the Scout Report are very good, so they're worth watching.
Yeah.
So, if nothing else.
Not us.
No, absolutely not. No, we know nothing. Barman says you're sick. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Right.
on next week's Thursday show, you're just going to see Matt rocking in a corner from all the content he's been having to put out on the channel.
We're keeping busy. We keep ourselves busy. Right, we're going to do some predictions. These don't count towards the league, so don't get excited if you get your prediction right this week. But Mick, FA Cup, first round, Swindon Town, Rotherham United, what way is it going?
I'm going to go with history. I mean, it don't count, does it? It don't count. It don't count to title, but I need to keep my eye in. I'm doing well. I got a 3-pointer on Saturday. I started to move up league, so I think we'll get pipped at the post. Is it injury time? Is there extra time? Sorry, and penalties, or just penalties?
Extra time penalties.
So are we talking about after extra time score, or is it 90 minutes? What's the score on 90 minutes?
Mixed consulting rule book. Oh God!
Well,
you're consulting the rule book for what is effectively a friendly.
You don't get points. This is why you don't get points, because it gets complicated.
All right, fair enough. I think we'll lose 2-1.
All that.
After all that.
History.
Boring.
Yeah.
You keep telling me, listen, you lot keep spouting off about, we played Swindon first in 1968, and like that's got any better. So if it's not got any bearing, it must have. Do you
know what makes it worse, Mick? I've double checked my numbers, and it's actually 1963, not 1968.
Well, there you go. Before I was born, I can't even remember it. 2-1 Swindon. Mike's telling me to get on with it. 2-1 Swindon.
That was a long-winded prediction. We're only an hour and 3 minutes in. Tom.
3-0. I'm going to go.
Now we're talking to us.
You know? No. Yeah. No, to us. Yeah.
Danny.
8-0. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to say 3-1. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet, but I think we'll do one on Swindon. So I'll say 3-1.
Okay, I'll go 2-1. I think we're going to come back. A classic Miller's comeback, as it appears to be turning into this season. Walter Hook Valley Entertainment. Walter says 3-1 to Swindon. Scott Kent says 3-1 to the Millers. Tom K says 3-1. 2-0 says Scott Grundy. 1-1 loss on penalties from Harry. Darren Cook says 2-0. 4-3, Rob says, on after extra time. I'd take that. An entertaining 4-3, I'd take that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Terfim says 3-1. For penalties, Phil, if it goes after extra time. Usually says 3-0 to the Millers. Paul Ribby says 2-0. Rotherham remain unbeaten. Palmer says 2-2. But then 4-2 after extra time. Steve Mick says 3-2. Phil says 2-1. Terfim says simple. Are we going to win all this? I think people got fed up in Mick. Taking so long.
I don't blame you.
Brilliant. I was going to say something else, but I've completely forgot, and we're 5 minutes over. Matt Miller, who was the last Swindon manager who led them to their only major cup success?
Yeah, I know the answer to this, I think.
Glenn Hoddle, maybe?
No, Danny Williams, I believe it was.
Our Danny Williams?
Yeah.
Was it? Oh, they win the League Cup?
Yeah, they won the second ever League Cup, and Danny Williams was their manager.
There we go. Danny Williams, very good. Rotherham connection. There we go. Thank you very much, Mike. We've had a trivia night tonight, really. Just a few bits of stats and information coming out. So that's been very, very good. Right. Thank you all for being with us tonight. If you can, please subscribe if you haven't done so already. We are now 51 away from 2,000 subscribers. So you are, everybody that has subscribed so far, thank you very, very much. The numbers are going up and up and up. We saw really, really good numbers and viewers from our last couple of episodes. I did expect to beat Barnsley, but we appreciate you all nevertheless for tuning in. And like I said, there's a lot of Miller's content to consume over the next few days. So make sure you subscribe. Like this video as well, because that helps let everybody know that you've enjoyed this episode as well. If you listen to iTunes or Spotify, which you can now get the Scout Report on iTunes and Spotify, 5-star rating, thumbs up, like, whatever that your particular provider allows you to do. You three, is there anything else we need to mention?
Nah, just keep plugging away at least. Do on the 29th at the Cutler's Arms. Please, if you get a ticket, if you buy a ticket before the 8th of November, so you've got just over a week, everybody who's bought a ticket by that point gets put into a draw to win one of 2 signed copies of the Millerman 12-inch EP. So 12 quid. It's not much, is it? And it'll be a great night. I'm going to keep plugging it. We might even get Leon to plug it himself.
Yeah, we can do that.
And just to bounce off that, because I've already got my tickets, 3 of them for that. If one of my 3 tickets wins the draw, I'll auction off my second copy of the signed record because I've already got one, and then I'll give all the money to Rotherham Hospice that we get from that.
I like your style. See, we give on this podcast. That's all we do. We give.
We give great opinions and tactical knowledge as well as charity.
Yeah.
We've rambled a lot tonight, so I apologise. If you don't like rambling, I apologise. This show was not for you. But anyway, we've done it anyway. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Tom. We will see everybody next time. Thank you all for watching. And as always, up the Millers.
Up the Millers.
Here comes for more. 2 for Jensen, 2 for Rotherham. Shoots! Ravel. Vicious, but brilliant! The sweetest feeling for Rotherham United. Woods got round the back, and Richie Wood has done